So the topic of our discussion are three. Number one is the CV, second number is the resume, and third number is the covering letter. Now I'm showing you the screen here. This is a list of the topics that we are supposed to discuss today. There are actually 4 to 5 topics. Number one is what is CV. We have to discuss what is CV. Number second is how to write a CV. And number third is what is resume. And number four is difference between CV and resume. Number fifth is what is covering data. We have to discuss all these topics. In the very starting, we have to see that what is the CV. The word CV is taken from Latin word, means the course of life. The word CV actually is the Latin word. It has a meaning that is the course of life. CV stands for curriculum vitae. This is the full form of the CV. CV is the short form or the abbreviation that is used at the place of the curriculum vitae. This is the short form CV. CV is a record of personal and professional life. Whatever the professional experiences, whatever the professional connections we have, whatever the professional life we have to give complete history of our professional as well as personal life in the CV. CV is the first step to apply for any job. CV has the multiple type of the purposes, multiple type of the aims and the goals, but mostly it is used for the job purpose. Data needed to write a CV. What type of the information or data that is important to write a CV? Note different jobs need different CVs. Remember this thing that whenever we are applying in for the different jobs, we have to use different CVs for the different jobs. The reason is that every job has particular recruitments, every job has particular criteria. So we have to submit the CV according to the nature of the job, according to the rules and the regulation of the job. We cannot use single CV for the different types of the job. Maybe when we use a single type of the CV for the different types of the jobs, maybe we are rejected at that time as well, because our CV shows our skills, our CV represents our professional skills, our CV represents our personal records as well. When you are applying for the teaching purpose and your CV represent the business types of the techniques there in the, when you are going to apply for any teaching post, then the connection would be not there between your CV and the applied job. So it will create the hindrances, it will create the blunders at that time. So you will not be given importance at that time. That is the reason that whenever you apply for the different jobs, at that time you have to submit the CV according to the nature and according to the recruitments and according to the principles of that particular job. Now, what are the different steps that are necessary to write a CV? What type of the different things should be? What type of the different data should be within the CV? In the very starting, in the on the very first page of the CV, at the very top of the page, you have to give the number one, that is the contact information. You have to give the contact information. Now, what is in the contact information? In the contact information, you are supposed to write down your full name at the top of the CV or at the top of that page. In the very starting, you have to write down your full name, and that name should be written in the capital letters. After that, you have to provide your mobile numbers or the phone numbers, then address of the home. After that, you have to provide the email as well. These are the 5 things are very important to write a CV, and these things help you to get the job in at any place, because on the basis of these things you are called and you are contacted as well. So you have to give the full information in the very starting, personal information in the very starting of the CV. Number second, that you are supposed to give the heading, that is the objectives. In every CV, of the heading of the objectives should be there. Objectives represent that what is your object, what is your aim and goal to apply for any job. For example, if you are applying for the teaching vacancy, teaching post, then you will say that I want to show my skills, teaching skills, I want to improve my teaching skills, I want to give benefits to that this particular teaching institute or department. In this way, you have to give the reasons and the causes that what do you expect or what do you want from that particular institute or from that particular department or from that particular job. In the objectives, you have to write down the objectives, you have to write down the aims and the goals, that what do you want from that particular job. And objectives are written in the descriptive form. You have to write down the objectives within the 3 to 4 lines. Then the third number, that is academic history. After that, you have to give your academic record or the educational record, whatever the education you have to give the list of that educational record there. Number fourth is professional experience or the professional life, that how much experience you have in different type of the professions. For example, if you have done different types of the jobs at the different type of the places, then you have to give the list of the those jobs where you have done that particular job, and from which date you started that particular job and when you ended that particular job. You have to, in this way, you have to give the complete list of those professional jobs as well, after giving the academic history or academic record. Then you have to give the heading of the awards and the honors, whatever the different type of the honors and the awards we receive in our whole life. You have to give the name of those awards there as well. Actually, when you will give the detail of all these things will represent your life and your struggles, and what type of the abilities and skills do you have. These all things show your personality, show your abilities and skills, and this is through the CV you are judged that how much you are beneficial for particular type of job. Publications, if your articles are published somewhere and you have worked in the field of the research, then you have to write down the name of those particular topics, and where from that was published, and when it was published, and the volume numbers, and all of the details you are supposed to give there. License and certificates, if you have received different type of the certificate and you have applied at the different places and you have got the certificates from there, even you can mention the names of those certificates as well. Number 8 one is the personal information. In the very starting, I told you at the top of the page, you have to give the contact information. In the contact information, you have to just write down your name, mobile number, address, and emails. These 4 things are important there. But in the personal information, you have to give the detail or other detail of your life. For example, your father's name. It is written, mostly the personal detail is given at the below of the CV. It is not given at the top of the CV. At the top of the CV, only the important things or the contact information is given there. But at the below of the CV, at the bottom of the CV, you have to provide your other information, other personal information. For example, father's name, religion, nationality, marital status, CNIC number, and all of these things. These things are not much important. That's why they are given at the bottom of the CV, and whatever the important things are there. For example, the contact information, that is very important for applying any jobs, and you have to provide the right type of the information there and correct type of the information there. And then hobbies and interests, what type of the hobbies and interests do you have? In the last, you have to give the references. In the references, you are not supposed to mention the names of the people, but you will write down as references will be provided upon the request. Sorry. In this way, you have to write down just within the one line that references will be provided upon request. You are not supposed to write down the names of the persons that you want to give the references of those people who are living in your neighbors or the other relatives. No, it is incorrect way. Just you have to write down the names. You have to write down just one sentence that references will be provided upon request. Then the question arises here that why do we write in the references like this one line? The reason is that sometimes there are many people who use the fake type of the CVs. They do not possess such type of the abilities and skills, so they make the fake type of the CVs. And in order to verify those CVs, whenever we apply for any job, the owner and the head of that department want to check either the CV is the right one or the correct one. So here she goes for the references as well, and ask the person who has submitted that particular CV to give the name of those references as well. And the references, now what is asked, that who is your neighbor or what about these relatives are there, these things are not asked in the references. But sometimes it doesn't happen mostly, but sometimes there are institutes uh, which want to assure each and everything, and they judge the person by asking the different type of the certificates, by asking the different type of the publications and awards. How they ask for the different type of the certificates, if we have written that I have got the first position in my class in the debate competition, for example, if someone has written, then what is the proof for the person who is looking at your CV, how he or she can believe that you are this information is the correct one or the wrong one? Then the person asks this to the person who to the another person who has submitted the CV, that bring your all of the certificates, bring your all of the awards, and bring your all of the license and the publications in the hard copy, so that I can see and I can confirm that yes, you have actually done all of these things, and these achievements are the part of your life. So sometimes the different type of the department and different in the different type of the fields, your certificates are also checked, your awards are also checked, and your publications are also checked. So they check your certificates, they ask you people to bring your certificates, to bring your all of the awards as a proof, so that they can confirm all these things, whatever the information and the data you have given into your CV, each and everything is the correct one and worthy and loyal. That's why they ask for these different things as well. Now we have the we have to discuss that what are the different rules to write a CV. How do we write a CV, and what are the principles to write a CV? Writing a CV is not everybody's cup of tea. It is very much difficult. There are many people who are rejected just for not writing good type of CV, and different type of the departments and the institute give important to the format of the CV as well. That how you have arranged your information in your CV, and how is the font you have applied in your CV and written it in your CV is a correct one or not, and what type of the font size you have applied there. These little and minor things are also sometimes judged and noted by the different departments and the different job vacancies as well. So the number one rule, that is the name should be written in capital letters. Remember these things whenever you will write down your name in your CV. Name should be written in the capital letters, and you have to write down the full name at the top of your CV. Whatever the name you have to write down full name, and your name should be written in the capital letters. Number second rule is that font type and font size should be same in all over the CV. Whatever the font you are applying in your CV, that font should be similar in all over the CV. It should not be like that in the very starting your font is Calibri, after that you are going for the font that is a Times New Roman, and after that you are going for the Algerian types of the font. This is not acceptable in the case of the CV. You have to apply just one font, one type of the font in all over the CV. And whenever you are going for the size, you should remember that in the third point it is also written there that each and every official document is written in the Times New Roman font. Remember this thing. When you are given any type of the assignment by any teacher, you have to write down that assignment by applying the Times New Roman font. It is acceptable, and it is the official font as well, that is acceptable anywhere and everywhere. You have to apply this font in any type of the assignment, Times New Roman. And what about the size? That whenever you are giving the heading, in any assignment or or even in your CV, your heading should be the 14. The size of your heading should be 14, and it is always bold. Headings are always bold. Control B, when you will apply the shortcut, that is the Control B, then the font will be bold, and other remaining normal font should be unbold, and it should have the size of the 12. The normal font is always 12, it is unbold, while the headings are always given in the bold, and headings size is always 14. These are the rules that are applied for any document in everywhere in any institute. These are the rules that are applied for the official type of the document. You know, the CV is one of the official type of the document, so you have to use this type of the font size and the font. It will give the good impression to the one who is looking at your CV, that yes, this person knows about the official documents and official rules as well, and he or she knows that how to arrange assignment and how to give assignment or CV, and how to give the different type of the sizes to the headings and to the normal font, and where to go for the bold type of the font and where to go for the unbold type of the font. So you have to apply these rules in your CV as well. Then the fourth point is that academic records should be arranged chronologically. It starts from higher degree to lower one, like bachelor's, intermediate, and metric. Remember this thing, most of the students are, most of the employees or most of the other people who make mistake here, what do? They start to mention their academic record or academic history from lower degree, or from they start their academic record from the matric, then they go for the intermediate, after that they discuss the bachelor's, and after the bachelor they go for the masters, and after the masters they go for the MPhil and the MS and all of these things. It is the incorrect way. Whenever you are writing your CV, it is important that you have to mention the name of the higher degree at the very beginning of your CV. Whatever the higher degree or whatever the recent degree or whatever the current degree that you have to start to mention your academic record from the current degree. For example, if you are doing your bachelor's, then you have to write down the bachelor at the very top of the academic record, bachelor. After that you will go for the intermediate at the second number, then you will go for the matric, after matric then you will go for the primary type of the education. So in this way, each and everything should be given in the order, in the chronological manner, in the series manner. Your degree should be from the record of your degree should be start from the higher type of the degree. You have to give the name of the higher degree at the very start. After that you can go or you can move towards the lower type of the degrees. Fifth number one rule, that is in academic record, mention the name of the degree, board or institute where from you have received degree, passing year and percentage of CGPA. For example, now if you are giving the list of your degrees, for example, bachelor's, if in the very starting you have to mention the highest type of the degree, and your highest degree is the bachelor's, and in the bachelor, what how you will write down the name of the degree. In the very starting you have write down the name of the degree, like bachelor's in mathematics. After that you have to write down the name of the board or the institute where from you have done this bachelor's. You can write down as Institute of Mathematics and Computer Science, University of Sindh and Jamshoro. And you have to also mention the passing year, that when you have passed your bachelor's, when you have completed your bachelor's, when you are writing the name of the degree, at that time you have to write down the passing year as well in the bracket. For example, 2016, 2020, 2022, 2024, you have to write down the passing year as well there. And after that you have to write down the obtained CGPA or the percentage, that how much percentage and the CGPA you have received in that particular degree. In the case of the intermediate and in the case of the matric, you will write down as an intermediate passing year in the brackets 2004. After that you have to mention the name of the board, that is BIC board of Hyderabad. In this way, you will write down the name of the board, and then you have to write down the percentage, that what type of the percentage. Either you are in with the percentage, you have to write down the your grade as well, that which type of the grade you have received, 1A, B, whatever the grade you have got, and you have received in your intermediate. In this way, you have to give the complete record of your academic history. And I have given the example here as well, so that you can see that how you can write down the name of the degree, or how you can mention your degrees as well. Here I have written each and everything in the descriptive web, but you can make the tabulated form as well. And in the tabulated form, you have to mention in the one table the name of the degree, in the another table the passing year, while in the third table you can give the passing name of the institute, and after that you can go for the percentage and the CGPA as well. In this way, you can make the table, and that should contain 4 to 5 portions, and in each and every portion you have to mention the different type of the headings there. In this way, you can arrange your academic record as well. See example, in the example I have given the example that if anyone has done the BS in English, that is in the literature, because in the English we are two fields, either literature and the linguistics. My field is of the literature, that's why I have written this. And this example is from my own CV, that's why I have mentioned each and everything here, so that you can understand all of these things clearly from the example, given example. BS English Literature, I have passed this BS English and Literature in 2016, and the name of the institute is Institute of English Language and Literature, University of St. Jamshur. What is the CGPA? CGPA is a 3.13 out of 4. Now you can go for the slash and write down the 4 as well. Percentage is like 70.40. You know that in English subjects, marks are not given easily. It is very much difficult to get the 3 even CGPA in the English department. Now we have to discuss that what is a resume. Resume and CV are mostly used as a synonyms. These are considered as a synonyms, resume and CV. While in America, CV is called as a resume, and in European countries, American CV is named as a resume. See, most of the people use resume and CV as a synonyms, but in America, the CV is called as a resume. In different countries, different names are given to these things. CV is called as a resume, while in European countries, CV is named as resume. In America, actually, a resume is called as a CV, while in European countries, CV is called as a resume. It is like this. We have the different names for the one thing. The reason is that due to the different type of the countries and their different rules and regulations, they give the different type of the names to the one thing. Resume is changed from CV. Now we have to see that how resume is changed from CV or CV is changed from resume. In America, actually CV is a CV, while in the European countries, CV is named as a resume. So it's simple. America, it is CB. In America, it is CB, while in European countries, CV is named as a resume. Now we have to see the difference between CV and resume, that what is the difference between CV and resume and how these are different from each other. There are 3 important differences between CV and resume. Number 1 difference is of the length. Remember one thing, CV and resume both are different from each other due to the length as well. Resume is always consists of 1 page and it is limited. Resume should not exceed from the 1 page, while CV can exceed from the 1 page and can cover the 40 pages, 50 pages as well. CV is unlimited, resume is limited. That's why they have the differences in their length. While second difference is that the purpose. Resume is just used for the job purpose. In the European countries, resume is just used for the job purpose, while CV has a multiple type of the purposes. It is used for the academic purpose, it is used for the job purpose as well. So purposes of both resume and CV are also different from each other. And layout. Now, what is the difference between the layout of the resume and the CV? Resume has no particular format, while CV has a particular format, chronological way. As I told you that in the very starting, you have to give the contact information. After that, you have to give the objectives, and after objectives, you have to mention your academic record. So you have to give each and everything in the chronological way in the CV. While in the case of the resume, it is not important to mention each and everything in the chronological way and in the ordered way. You can violate the rules and regulation in the resume, but in the case of the CV it is not acceptable. You have to give each and everything in the chronological way. So these are the three differences that how CV and resume are different from each other. Now, what is a covering letter? In order to cover the resume, covering letter is a type of the letter that is always attached with the resume. As I have already told you that resume is always of the one page. So it is not important that within the one page you can mention each and everything about your professional life, about your personal life. It is very much difficult. That's why in the covering letter covers to the resume. Whatever is not mentioned in the resume, all those things are mentioned in the covering letter. For example, I have given here that following things are following information is discussed in the covering letter. Now, number one thing is that where from you heard about particular vacancy. As I have already told you that resume is just used for the job purpose. Now, if you are submitting your resume for the job purpose, and in the resume you have given the limited type of the information about your personal and about your professional life, and it is not enough to cover all of the sides of your professional and personal life. So in the covering letter, which type of the information you are supposed to give? In the very beginning you have to mention the source, that where from you got the information of that particular job. Either the source is of the friend, or either the source is of the media, where from you heard about that particular vacancy. You have to write down the name of that source as well. In the very starting, in the very covering letter, you have to write down the name of the source, particular name of the source, where from you have heard about that particular job where you are applying, and where you have submitted your resume, and with the resume you have also attached your covering letter there as well. In the second number, how do you fit for that particular job? Now you have to mention your skills and abilities in the descriptive way in the recovering letter, that why the head of the department should choose you, and for any particular type of the job and the vacancy. How do you fit for that particular job, and what type of the benefits and the advantages you will provide to that particular department and that particular institutes. How do you fit for that particular job? You have to mention your skills, you have to mention your work experience there, you have to mention your abilities there. If you are applying for the teaching type of the job, then you have to mention the what type of the skills do you have, and what type of the abilities do you have, and how you have the work experience, where you have worked there. You can say I have 2 years experience of teaching at the University of Sin, and this way what type of the impression will be sent to the head of the department, or the department that the person who has applied for the job has certain type of the experience of work, and as well, and he or she is also able and contains this type of the list of the skills you have to mention there. So your skills will be also judged, and you will be judged, your personality will be judged, and your complete professional career will be judged on the basis of those skills there as well. So you have to mention there in the descriptive way that how you are suitable for that particular job if you are applying, and if the department hires you, what type of the benefits and the advantages you will give to that particular department. You have to mention each and everything in the descriptive way, in the covering letter. In the third information that is important to discuss in the covering letter is the request for an interview. In the covering letter, in the last, you go for the request for an interview to the person the head of the department that they can call you for the interview, on which time you have to mention the time as well there, write down the time as well there, and when you will be free, that at that time they should call you, and you can give the time to them as well. You can request them for the calling, you can give time to them as well for the calling time as well. So in this way you have to write down the covering letter. So we have discussed the three important things, three important topics, that how to write a CV, and how to write a resume, and how to write a covering letter, and what is the difference between the covering letter and the resume. Now